Congratulations on making it to the end of chapter 3. So we're now pretty confident with what object-oriented programming is all about. We know about classes and objects, and we know about methods and properties. In this chapter, we've looked more at magic methods, so the particular methods that can be used when a object is created or destroyed, and to display the content of that object or whatever we want very easily. Now we're going to put it all together with a little game, just a very simple game that gives us an opportunity to practice what we've learned so far. And the game is very straightforward. It's called Higher or Lower. You've probably played it at some point with playing cards. All the game is going to be is the PHP compiler is going to spit out random numbers from 1 to 10 with a 2-second gap in between, and the player has to guess whether the next one is going to be higher or lower than the previous one. Simple as that. But we're going to do it completely with object-oriented programming. We're only going to have one line of code which is outside of the class, and all that code is going to do is going to create a new object. That's it, which kind of gets the ball rolling. It's the first domino, essentially. So I'd like to set this as a challenge for you, but I think I need to let you know about something which you may not have come across before, which is how to pass content to the browser before the PHP script has completed, which is nothing to do with object-oriented programming, but it's a useful little trick, and it's necessary for a game like this where you want there to be a number displayed and then a bit of a delay and then a second number. So we won't go into this in great detail, but I'll just show you what the code is, and then you can use that when you're trying to do this challenge. So I'm just going to paste the code in straight away. Before we look at the code itself, let's just see what it's doing. So we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So it's printing the numbers 1 to 10 with 1 to 9 actually, yes, 0 to 9, sorry, with a gap of 1 second in between. So this, these pair of commands, ob_flush and then flush, I'm not going to go into in detail. All they do is pass whatever output there has been created to the browser without waiting any longer. So that's a necessary trick that we're going to need to use when creating this game. So for now, I'd like to pause briefly, and I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can create this game. So remember, we want it completely object-oriented, as minimal code outside the class as possible, and it needs to create essentially 10 random numbers between 1 and 10. Okay. I hope you had a good go at that. You don't need to watch this if you manage to do it, but if you want to see how I would have solved the problem, then watch on. So I'm going to create a class. I'm just leaving this code here for the moment. I will comment it out for now. /* and or asterisk, and asterisk slash is a long comment in PHP. So I'm going to call my class number, and this is going to be all of the numbers that are created. So essentially 0, 1, 2, 3, all of those random numbers are going to be an object with a class of number. So they all need to have a number. So we'll say public number equals, actually this number is going to be random, so I don't want to give it a particular value to start with. What I do want to do is give it a value set randomly every time an object is created with a class of number. So hopefully you managed to do that. We're going to use the constructor function. So public function _construct. So we want to set the number property to a random number between 1 and 10. So we use the this command, and we want to set the number, and we want to put it equal to a number between 1 and 10. In PHP, that's how we do that. So rand 1, 10. Okay, so now we've created our number. We now want to display it. And we'll give it a line break. And then we'll need to do our flushing. Okay, let's keep things nice and tidy. Brilliant. So that should create a random number between 1 and 10 and display the content. Let's just see if that works. So let's call it number down here, equals new number. So that should give us just a single number. Nope, what's wrong? I missed off my string. I'm thinking JavaScript, which doesn't have a string in front of this. So string this. That'll do it. Okay, so now that's it. Brilliant. We've got our random number. Great. Now, what we really want to do is have it destroy itself and then recreate itself each time a second or 2 seconds has passed. So let's see how we can do that. In PHP, we use the sleep function. Sleep for, let's keep it at 1 second. That will make the testing easier. And then we want to destroy it. So we can just say unset this. Okay, so that's fine, but it's still going to happen only once. What we need is something to happen when we destroy it. Fortunately, we have a great way of doing that. So we'll create a method destruct. And simply that method will recreate the variable each time it's destroyed. Sorry, recreate the object each time it's destroyed. So number equals new number. Brilliant. Let's have a look at that. Fantastic. So we've got our 8, 6, 3, 10 random numbers, and that's just going to keep on going forever until I press the stop button on my browser. Great, so that's the game. I'll just play it very quickly. I'll give myself 2 seconds. Let's see how I do on the first few. Okay, 6 lower, 10 lower. Was wrong. I was right. Yeah, higher. Yes, lower. Yes, higher. No, higher. Fantastic, higher. Okay, you get the idea. Great, so hopefully you can play that a little bit. It's not the best game in the world, it's not going to keep you occupied for hours, but it does show how much we can do with these classes. So if I get rid of that comment, which I don't need now, all of the logic here is contained within the class. The only line of code outside the class is this line here. So that just shows you how much you can do within classes. They're so much more powerful than functions, essentially. Okay, so we've got to the end of chapter 3. We're going to look at a few more things that we can do with object-oriented programming in chapter 4. But for now, I hope that you've come a long way and you've learned a lot of new things, a lot of new vocabulary, and a lot of new techniques. And I look forward to seeing you again at the beginning of chapter 4.